Okay, I am live with Sidneyeve Matrix, and I'm so excited to talk to her. Sydney is brilliant. And Sydney, tell us a little bit about you and your business and what you do.
Well, I'm brilliant. Let's just
You
leave
are.
it at that. I would never say that. Never.
But you
Canadians are
are.
like
So,
so humble, right? Yeah. So what I do is I run the Canadian version of the Brennan McGowan fan club. I'm the president up here. So I help course creators and coaches with their marketing. I do that through graphic design and through coaching with an emphasis on emotional connection. So that's what I do.
yes. And let's talk a little bit about emotional connection because you talk about it in a way that I haven't heard anyone talk about it before.
To be honest, when I started your program, I was just fumbling around, being in love with my own concept of emotional marketing. And no matter how many times my mom told me, nobody understands what that is, I had to wait until you said it much more diplomatically that we needed to come up with some messaging, about why does it even matter that people connect to your product and your brand? What's the ROI of joy and happiness? How does that lead into higher pricing, repeat customers, student success? Great testimonials. How does it actually work? Because I didn't know how to talk about emotional marketing. I just knew how to do it. And so that's what your program really helped me to do, is to figure out how to talk about it in a way that my customers, my ideal customers, would understand because I used their language.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's true. It's so I actually put something in because this is a talk that I have with so many different people all the time is and I was doing a market research interview earlier this week, which is like even if it's something that we do ourselves, being able to talk about it in a way that our right person, the person who's going to buy from us, is going to understand is not easy. And I feel like it's made, everyone's just like, oh, I just need to tweak my messaging. And it's like, okay, there's so much that goes into like what that is and what that looks like. And so, tell me a little bit about where you were at when you decided to join the pre-launch plan program.
I have been going through some curriculum by other, creatives like Amy Porterfield, and I realized that I had a really good grasp on what goes inside my program, and I had a pretty good grasp of how to launch the program. And the various options, with different kinds of live events or what have you. But I was missing that pre-launch process. And so I knew there was a gap, and I was hedging like about and hesitating about launching because I never felt really ready. And I never felt that my clients were really ready to hear about my launch. And so I knew there was this opportunity to work with you and bridge that gap.
Right. And coincidentally, Sydney, Eve and I talked a lot during my own pre-launch. And this is like the beauty of what pre-launch can do, right? Where you're getting people interested and curious before you even ever open your door. So can you talk a little bit about like what was that thing that made you be like, okay, yes, like I want to do this, or yes, I'm really interested in taking and doing this program.
What I mean, I purchased the program and I did not know there was a sales page. I never saw the sales page. And as a copywriter, I'm sure that seems like, wow, it takes so long to do a sales page and it's so important, right? I didn't even see the sales page. I just bought based on an email sequence. So I was reading your emails and I had this increasing feeling of, wow, this person gets me. Wow, this person's been there. This is the person that I want to work with because she deeply understands the place that I'm at, and I trust that she'll be able to take me to the beyond, right? To the next step. Because she's been there, done that. So it was an email sequence that made me reach out to you. And I think there's one more piece that is worth mentioning, that in one of the emails, there was a moment of urgency. So there was something like, be the first or get a deal or have a bonus. And there was one little tiny urgency. So I reached out to you via DMs and said, I want that thing, whatever it was. And I don't remember what it was. I don't even know if I got it. Didn't matter. But the urgency really also helped move the needle.
Yeah. And I love it. Like even though you didn't look at my sales page, I mean, that's like my goal, right? That you have people so invested in what you're about to sell that they don't even need, like they already know that they want it, and they know, and we're doing it in a way that was not, and just so for people that are listening for pre-launch is like, it's not like a direct during pre-launch when I'm talking about things, there's no direct call to action to the sales page. So people are leaning in based on the content that you're writing and how you're explaining things. And I think you're just such a meta example of why pre-launch is so important, right? Like that you get people invested and curious, interested, and excited to come in and take your program and be wonderful students as well. And I think that's something like with Sidneyeve was one of like, it involved so much, gave so much feedback, and we had such a great community. And it's because you get these people who are excited and interested and didn't buy because it was this last second or because they felt pressure.
You know, what's funny is, and you were very gracious about this as well. I did not want the community experience. I only wanted the curriculum and the Brenna. That's what I wanted. I
Oh,
wanted
I
the
forgot about that.
Yeah, I did not want community. I had no time for that. I was in a rush. I just wanted, and one of my biggest questions was, can I have all the curriculum right now, please?
Yes.
So, and you were so calm about it and gracious. And I think that's a lesson to all of us that we may have a learner's, a journey, a buyer's journey and a learner's journey in mind. It's an ideal journey, but people will not want to walk it in lockstep exactly the way that we've planned. And if we can just relax about that, and it will make a huge difference to buyers. So now, of course, once I got in the program, I ate up all the community, and I don't even know if I finished all the curriculum before trying to execute. So it was, you never know, but there was anxiety, at that moment of truth when I was, I had a problem. I think you can fix it. Should I buy this? Can I do it? There was a lot of anxiety, and just hopping on Voxer, if you remember, made a big, big difference to me.
Yeah, I remember that. And I remember our chat, but I totally forgot about the part that
Mhm.
you weren't interested in the community. And I think that's a really good point is, and this goes for any of us who have programs, is really thinking through different learning styles, like how people can get the most out of your program, whether they want to be part of the call. I have people who take the program who don't show up to any calls, execute, do amazing. I have other people who are there for every call, and it just depends on what your needs are. And that's one of the things I love about the program, and how it's been set up, where you can run it however you feel works best for you.
But I
So
think I was completely convinced, without seeing the sales page, just speaks to the opportunity that we have in the pre-launch period, just even just through email. I mean, that was the vehicle, right? And your emails were very, very short. And they were leading me if I wanted to go and read more or watch more, listen to more. In fact, I did not click through and listen to the full story. I just read the emails. And so it was a really powerful, it's powerful to put a lot of thought into the emails that go out during pre-launch because they can convert people.
yes, I was just having this discussion with Dana Malstaff in her Boss Mom community, and we were talking about like what pre-launch is, and it's that you're having this really, really intentional time of what people are seeing that lead them on the journey, and it leads them on the journey of, oh my gosh, I have to have this, or it leads them on the journey of like, nope, this isn't right for me. And
Yes.
either way,
Yeah.
but you're having your content, your emails, whatever. And that's another thing too, is like, Sidneyeve read the emails and was in. I've had people watch videos, and that was the reason why, right? There's these different vehicles, and learning how to use these different vehicles that we have at our disposal in a way that's not super overwhelming. And that's always my goal with the program. So can you talk a little bit, and we've already touched on it, but can you tell me about your experience inside the program, and and also how my facilitation of it, because I think right now there's a huge hesitancy in the market. We all see it, and or at least most of us see it, and people are scared to take a program and not have it, the program promise not be delivered. They're afraid that the person's not going to show up and actually deliver what they say they're going to, and it's created this scary time. So can you speak to that a little bit about like what it was like once you were actually inside?
So I did not upgrade to VIP because I'll be honest, I did not know, like, and trust you enough. And so there was this option of you can spend more time with this person, and I wasn't quite sure. So I didn't upgrade. But when I got in the door during the first meeting, I thought, now I understand, the level, the quality of this experience and how it can be enhanced with additional like one-to-one personalization, of the whole course curriculum vis-a-vis my problems and my aspirations. So I immediately upgraded to VIP. So I think that just, again, just being relaxed about the fact that, people might get into the program, and then offering them, just saying it's not too late. You're more than welcome to upgrade. There's lots of room for you. I'll send you a custom link. That really created a feeling of belongingness. Like I really sensed that you cared about my success. But when I got into the program, I realized that it was a bit of a mastermind. So we all worry about getting into programs, and there's too many people. There's 5,000 people on the call, and a little disappointing. This was a smaller, more intimate mastermind-like experience for me. And even though I'm not a super big fan of masterminds because I tend to want to just learn from the creator, the expert, I really benefited from watching the hot seats, the engagement, people's homework, and the peer-to-peer support. I benefited hugely. They say that the best way to learn something is to, try to help somebody else learn it, right? So, that was a great experience for me, and the experience was not limited to the pre-launch period, right? We talked about our lives as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs in some cases, and the challenges of that. We talked about the lives of our clients. We talked about our offers and our history and our dreams, and so it was an important transformational space. And that has nothing to do with the modules. Like that's nothing to do with, but I do want to mention that I'm an instructional designer, and one of my friends was an instructional designer who had worked with you on the course. And so we were gossiping about you behind your back and saying, wow, this is serious business. Like when somebody hires an instructional designer, they are serious about having a cohesive experience with learners achieving particular outcomes. Like that's because instructional designers are a pain in the nose, right? They put your course through the ringer and they're expensive. It's high touch.
Can you,
So
for anyone who isn't familiar with instructional design, can you say a little bit of what that is?
yeah, it's the people that, if you have to do professional development at work, or if you're going to college, or, it's the people who build those educational experiences. So they build courses, build online courses in particular. So online courses for like the HR department, when you get a new job or whatever, and you're being onboarded, all of that stuff. Or if you're in college, and say we hire somebody like Brenna to come in and do a course on marketing. Brenna might be an expert on marketing, but not an expert on teaching online. And so the instructional designer would come in and produce the course. So that's what we do. We handle the talent. Brenna would be the talent. I'd be the handler.
Yes, and Sidneyeve's a professor as well, so she knows what she's talking about. And yeah, that's something that was just super important to me. I always tell this story where I sold, I'm a marketer, so I sold the first round of the pre-launch plan program. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sold out, like so excited. I went from like excited to terrified, full of fear in like 30 seconds. And I was like, I don't know how to like actually, people always say like, don't create a program until you put people through it, right? So that was what was in my mind. Like, okay, I'm just going to take everything I do and I'm just going to teach it. And then it was like, where do I
Oh
even
my
start?
God.
How do
Yeah,
I do this? Like,
I know.
and it was definitely, when I think about investment wise,
It's
hiring,
kidding.
I hired Nissa Brown. She's the reason why this program's been so successful, because she really truly helped me
She
figure
really.
out what to do, how to say it, and get it into where people can actually learn and apply. And then once you get that basis down, you just get to keep making it better and better. And that's why I'm so excited about going into the 6th round of the pre-launch plan program. I can't believe I've already done this 5 times and just trying to make it better each time. So I for a really quickly before we move on is, can you talk a little bit about like those hot seats and like what was happening while we were doing while we're in this container?
Most people, when we do a program, whether it's group coaching or whether it's a course, we leave time, we build in time for Q&A, but then nobody does their homework, and then we don't come to the calls with any intelligent questions. We're just lucky to show up. We're lucky to just be there. And so like Nissa or myself, we would instruct the instructor to prepare some things to help people get something out of the call, even if they haven't done their homework. Well, this was not the case in yours at all, because the whole course was so clearly laid out that we knew exactly what our homework was. It was very, very doable. It didn't have to be done perfectly. And there was a live peer review on each call. And so we could see the value that people were getting from bringing their imperfect work, their work in progress to the call. And I think that was amazing, because it was like an art class critique where we're all sitting around with our easels, and we're talking about, okay, so this is what I'm trying to do here. It's unfinished. And you know what that does? It's so much confidence and cohesion and trust in the community, a real community group. So it makes a big difference. So even if we didn't do our homework, even if we loafed all the way through the class, we still felt like, okay, I'm getting somewhere because I'm helping people, I'm picking up stuff, I feel good. It's a great experience. And when we can give people that kind of experience, they're going to want to come back and buy and have that experience again. They want to buy something else from you, right? They
Yep.
want to come back as an alumni or something.
Yep, so true. So in as we start to wrap up here, being and now that the program is done, we've had the summer, like, can you talk about like what you walked away with the program with? Like, what was some of your wins?
I'm a researcher, and you helped me to be a better researcher. I snuck around the web, scooping up all the little tidbits that my ideal customers say. I had a fresh perspective on the importance of voice of customer, business intelligence. So I'm listening differently. I know how to explain what I'm doing differently. And just like when you hire an instructional designer, when you make that kind of investment in the pre-launch program, or in anything else that helps you feel more confident, you just show up differently. It's easier to sell. You will attract people. It feels, your business feels easier. So I would say it was a transformational experience, not just because now I know how to pre-launch, but because it was just a luxurious learning experience.
Oh, I love that. That's great. I'm going to use that. I love the luxurious learning experience. It's really, really my goal is to make it the best learning experience possible. And so for anyone who's like, gosh, thinking about like, should I make this investment? Like, obviously can't speak to people's personal circumstances, but people that are hesitant, like that we talked about, what would you say to them?
I would say, if you're looking for an experienced expert, who's offering a high touch, small group experience, who's known for over delivering, who's invested in having a very, very intentional learner's journey where there's lots of fail safes, who knows who's been there They know all, she knows all the problems that you're going to have. She knows all the struggles that you're having already. So she'll be able to get you to the other side. This is the program for you. It's a no-brainer. The ROI is, very obvious, but I think that, the personal ROI is that you'll come out of the program just feeling like you're better prepared to show up and serve the people that you're working so hard to help.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and to be here. And then for anyone who is looking, tell people where they can find you. You have all types of Canva templates, and then I'll drop that link in here after we're done.
Yeah, I have lots of templates for people if they like pretty things, because pretty things are joyful. And then they're made with a bunch of like sort of marketing insight tucked in between the pixels, right? So that they're both smart and beautiful. And my business is called Valentine Course Design.
That's great. And then where on the web is the best place for people to find you?
ValentineCourse.design.
Perfect. Okay, good. I will throw that in here, and thank you for watching. The pre-launch plan program officially opens up September. I get to look either September 18th or 19th. I should have actually written that down. If it's something that you're interested in, get a hold of me, DM me. Like we said, it's no pressure whatsoever to get the information you need so you make a great buying decision for you. So thank you, Sidneyeve. I so appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
Thanks. Bye-bye.